Hey guys, Coco here. Welcome to Move at Home, your physical and spiritual toolkit. Today I have a shorter class called the Restoration, nonetheless very potent. This will work your sympathetic nervous system into a parasympathetic state, which means that you will go from a, say, jacked up state into the rest and digest systems of the body. It's also a beautiful way to work the joint mobility, the plasticity, and also stretching the muscle tissue of the body. We're focusing on the water element today and these few weeks, and so the water element is about the kidney and the bladder meridians. Those reside on the back line of the body and the deep inner lines of the legs. Through the feet, we access the kidney meridian, and so on and so forth, that through this practice I will stimulate and target these areas so that we are in alignment with this beautiful element that is all about inner vigor, inner strength, silence, and depth. So you will need a block and a strap. If you do not have these, we can also facilitate and do this class easily without them. But you just start either on your back side with the pelvis grounded to the mat, or taking the block on either level and placing it under the pelvis. Once it is under the pelvis, you can reside the pelvis here and allow the legs to come to a 90-degree bend at the knees, resting the arms to either side of the body. Letting the breath come in and out of the body smoothly through the nose, grounding and allowing for the eyes to soften and the ears to open. The water element is associated to the organ sense of ears, of listening, a deeper listening, almost acting as a second pair of eyes into the inner landscape of the body. And there are things that certain organs cannot pick up on that are far greater than sight. Deeper vision into the self. And from here you can bend the knees and just allow the knees to draw over the hips and extend the legs up. Letting the blood drain from the feet down and pull in and around the pelvis, facilitating a venous return, making it a little easier for your heart to do its job. It's a lot about stillness with undulating breath, fluidity. Chloe would agree. The breath becomes the body becomes the breath. You can slowly begin to rotate the ankles. So many receptors located in the ankles. The ankles need to be strong and pliable. They help us to balance, and really with our gait and our walking and our running, our balance, the equilibrium of how we move around on the earth. Earth does bend the water, so if it's too shaky, too fluid in these ankles, that lack of stability is not ideal. So that's where the earth comes in to stabilize. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet back down. Bring your arms up over the head, cross at your thumbs. Oh, here's a little doggy. And then setting the tops of your hands onto your mat, you can draw the arms and hands toward the crown of your head. And as you drag, this will create a nice stretch to the front body. Stretching the front body, removing any of that contractile quality through the psoas and some of these muscles that actually tense up when we are in that fight or flight in that sympathetic nervous system. So it's really important to do the work of taking the gunk away, taking some of the stress, excess stress out as we move through our days. And this can involve a short movement practice, a breathing practice, all sorts of ways to restore ourselves. The arms back here to the sides of the body, and then We'll draw almost like a semicircle over the body, creating like a dome on this beautiful blanket, or wave of the arms, opening and closing, as I reside here in this barn today, doing my work, my movement. It's really not about where you are physically, but also where you're at. So that water element about transitions and being adaptable and fluid to any environment. You yield to any environment. It's very yielding. That is very powerful, more so than force and rigidity. Once you've done this a couple times, you can let the ribs soften, let the arms rest to the sides of the body, and then press into your feet and pick up your pelvis, placing the spine one vertebra at a time down and regrounding the back line to the earth. If it was already there, then just take a moment to acknowledge it again as you stop any other motion and lie in the stillness. And then from here, crossing your right ankle over your left knee and drawing the foot in, we're working into a figure 4 shape. As we move into the figure 4, we're working into that inner line, the kidney line, through the floor of the pelvis, closer to the pelvis, that center. Notice if there's any pain or discomfort in that area. These yin lines, these lines of the inner legs, are more sensitive, softer, nonetheless powerful. We're usually quite tight in the inner lines, the outer lines. See if you can flex through your right heel a little bit and bring a little bit of a tonality to the foot, as opposed to having it be very flask, which would be more of a yin-like quality. See if bringing a little flexion, how that changes the actions for you and the sensations. And very, very slowly you can begin to draw a little bit more of a pull towards you for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly, I'm going to release the left foot and then release the right foot. Extending the right leg out in front of me and shaking out the heel, a little bit of a wavering of the foot, bringing out any tension, and then bringing my right knee in, and I'm going to cross my left ankle to the top of my right knee and come into that figure 4 shape once again. So for me, a really big difference between right and left side. Observing how the body behaves, getting to know that awareness. I want to be in awareness, not hyper awareness, because then we can get this sense of paralysis by analysis, being so involved in the sensations of the body, pain, but enough to know how to conduct different ways of moving or holding or diffusing sensations. Once again, pushing through the heel, maybe widening the toes, just checking in with that action of a flask foot versus an active foot. Let yourself soften more and more as you lay on the back. I'm not going to take you through very many different things. This is a back line heavy kind of class, a heavy session of movement on the back line for the yang meridians of the body, the bladder, and those racerback stripes on the upper back are grounding that into the mat. An ode to the parasympathetic nervous system today. Pulling in the leg a little bit more, and then softly releasing and letting the sole of the left foot come down, extending the leg, and again pivoting at the back of the heel and shaking the leg out a little bit. And then drawing the knee in and working the knees wide, grabbing a hold of the outer feet, pushing through the heels and grounding the back of the pelvis. Now I'd like for you to hold this and to begin to roll the head. Back of the skull does this semicircle arc-like shape. And it's a tiny little bit of effort, yes, to bob the head from right to left. But But once it's engaged in that arc-like motion, it does the work by itself. Effortless effort. So there's the action of very little action. And that's a big learning from the water element, the yielding, the depth, the beauty of not having to do so much and experiencing a very potent source of power and potential by conserving energy, by pulling back, by withdrawing. The water element personality will refuel by isolating and recharging their battery. So there's this sense too of needing that connection and this output, but you got to plug into something. And sometimes that's just plugging into the self, reclaiming the breath, and really feeling the charge of the nervous system charge down. That's what charges you up, you know? Once you've done this a couple times, return to the center and take a moment again to look at the backs of your eyelids as your eyes are closed. Notice the color or quality, the depth of the inner landscape. Release and let the legs and the arms drop up toward the ceiling. And hold the heads of your arm bones, the heads of your leg bones into the cups of your hip sockets and shoulder sockets. If it's too hard, you can bend the knees, you can bend the elbows. Lofty breath. Once again, letting the knees softly bend and drawing the soles of the feet down on the mat. Take yourself to your right side in a fetal position. And then slowly sit up. If you have a block, you can go ahead and sit on the block with your feet to either side. If not, just sit on your heels or sit cross-legs. And taking your strap or any form of fabric or anything that you could hold here with your hands either shoulder distance or a little wider, drawing the arms up over the head here. Lengthening and leaning over to the right side, opening up your rib cage on the left. And opening back to center, opening up to the left, opening the rib cage on the right. And breath work is restorative in its own. You could be not doing anything and just breathing more fully, full capacity, and really get so much benefit out of just taking the time to do that. Take your hands a little closer together and bend the elbows, arms, and hands behind you. Pull on the strap or on the fabric. Feel that pull. And once we stop pulling, there's going to be a tremendous release through the arms. Bring the arms up over the head here. Pull the hands apart. Feel the winging of the back, all that tissue, and then busting out of the seams. Exhale and lower your arms back down. Take the strap and place it to the side. Place your fingers, cradle the back of your skull, bring your chin towards your chest and extend that cervical spine flexion here, creating space at the back of the cervical spine. Keep drawing the crown of the head up, get tall. Inhale, draw the head back to center and release the arms to either side of the body. Now you've got the inner lines of the legs close together. You've sealed that inequality here. Feel for the back of the body, a restored will, a wider back, able to contract, able to carry forward and on. Holding this quality, this openness, this grounding, You can return to this short practice many times today if you need to. Round the back and from the front. Breathe deeply into yourself. Stay fluid, lubricated, hydrated. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.